When it comes to urinary tract infections, the traditional thing that everybody would always talk about is cranberry juice. Now, of course, this is helpful in some ways that we'll talk about momentarily, but the downside with cranberry juice that you're going to get is all this sugar that's going to make your situation worse in a lot of ways. You're dealing with bacteria here who thrive on sugar coming into the body, and you don't want to feed them any more than you need to. So when we look at cranberry juice, of course, it's not those sugars that are traditionally regarded for helping with UTIs, but it's a couple of other things. The primary one is DMannose. DMannose, technically speaking, is a sugar, but it's different. It's one of those weird sugars. It kind of falls into a similar category as, for example, D-ribose. These are sugars that don't behave as sugars in the sense that they don't affect your blood sugar. DMannose is hardly absorbed. It's not converted to glycogen. It's not stored in the liver, and it filters through the kidneys and collects in the urine, where it is actually able to coat these bacteria, these invaders, and pull them out through urination. So that's one of the most powerful tools possible, and you can get just straight DMannose. But there's another factor here in that these bacteria can stick to the walls of the urinary tract, right? They can kind of like get their hooks in there and say, you can try to get me, but I'm hanging on. And so there's a certain kind of antioxidant compound called type A proanthocyanidins. You may have heard of proanthocyanidins, for example, as being found in blue butterfly flower, but it's particularly these type A ones that you find in cranberry. And you don't have to have cranberry juice to get these. You can have a cranberry extract. So there's lots of companies that will sell a combination of DMannose and organic cranberry extract, so you can get both of these. And the cranberry extract is actually able to prevent these bacteria from sticking to the urinary tract walls. And there's a couple of other directions to look at this from as well. One would be probiotics in the microbiome. You can look at the research and see, okay, what specific strains of probiotics have been shown to be helpful for recurring UTIs. And there's 3 that you regularly see. This would be, one is Lactobacillus crispatus, Lactobacillus rhamnosus, the GR1 strain, and Lactobacillus reuteri, RC14. So you want to look for a probiotic product that has at least one of those, if not all 3 of them, ideally, because those are the ones, look, there's lots of different great probiotic strains that have different effects, and we're learning more and more about what different strains of bacteria do every year. But if we know that these 3 specifically are helpful in this department, why not just cut to the chase and get right to those so you can get out of the suffering of the UTI and get back to happy life as soon as possible, and also take a preventive approach as you go forward. Now, the other direction we want to look at this from is biofilms, because these bacteria can attach to the inside wall of the urinary tract and secrete what are called biofilms. They're essentially these shielding mechanisms that allow them to stay in there and keep doing their evil business, but they protect them from being detected and attacked by your immune system. It's really kind of a dirty trick of bacteria that can come into the body and cause lots of problems. So we want to look at what are some biofilm dissolvers that we can take that will dissolve that biofilm, and then our immune system and the other tools that we're putting in there can really go after this bacteria. Some of my favorites are xylitol and stevia. There's, as you may or may not know, there's a reason for those being the sweeteners that we like to use, apart from just being sugar-free and generally healthy, but they're also biofilm dissolvers. Then also caprylic acid, also known as C8-MCT oil. Serrapeptase, the systemic enzyme, is another really good one. Curcumin, the active form of the active form, what am I trying to say here? The active compound that you're getting out of turmeric, which you can get ideally in a phytosomal form from something like Mariva, which is a very highly bioavailable form of curcumin. And then berberine is another one coming from the Indian barberry, and MSM is another great biofilm dissolver. So you can come at this from a variety of angles and with some real powerful tools to hopefully get you some relief really soon.